It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou, and tonight I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
Accra is getting gridlocked. The time has come for us to move some parts of the government services out of Accra. Accra will continue to be the capital, but we'll move part of it.
Former President John Mahama promises to create a new city outside Accra to curb congestion and other issues. Meanwhile, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is also on the campaign trail, is promising to fix the city using our gold reserves. We have both stories on Eyewitness News tonight. Also coming up, Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Osu-Ekufo, defends government's decision to grant a 5G licensing contract to Next Gen Infraco, a company established a week before the contract was approved. And later, on Eyewitness News, independent power producers lament government's non-payment of service charges, which they say would affect power supply nationwide. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Ghana's trade surplus for 2024 quarter one hit 11.5 billion cedis. We have more from the Maiden Export and Import Price Index report.
That's in 50 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including in the Upper East region on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, Upper West, Tungsung 97.3 FM in Wa, and Jirapa FM 96.1 in Jirapa. In Northern region on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM in Bimbila. In the Volta region on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajavu and VOV Radio 95.7 FM in Hohoe. In Ashanti region, we are on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM, also based in Kumasi. In the Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Western region, we are on Adwinpa 100.7 FM in Takwa. In Takrady, we are on Sky Power 93.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM. We are live on YouTube, that is CityTube. We are also live on citynewsroom.com and we are on Facebook Live. Join the show with your messages 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Do send your messages and the world will hear what do you think. Alternatively, you can go to Twitter, now known as X, and drop your messages there. Let's start off with the 5G network and what the Minister for Communication, I beg your pardon, and Digitalization, Esla Osu-Ekufo, has been saying today. Because yeah, not how.
Now, internet users in Ghana can now have access to faster and affordable mobile data as government announces plans to roll out 5G in the next 6 months. The Minister for Communications, Esla Osu-Ekufo, disclosed that government will achieve this through a partnership with 7 industry players. The partners have established the Next Gen Infrastructure Company, which has been awarded 5G license. Here's the Minister for Communications with details of the arrangement.
Discussions will soon be finalized with Microsoft, which has expressed an interest in this project. NGIC's equity, i.e. its shares, will be held by the Republic of Ghana, Ascend Digital, KNet, all mobile network operators in Ghana, and other private investors, including the technology providers who may wish to join the consortium. NGIC has been awarded a 5G license and is expected to launch 5G services across Ghana within the next 6 months, with plans for future expansion into other parts of Africa. The shared 4G and 5G infrastructure will be built by Nokia and Radisys.
Esla Osu-Ekufo also justified why the spectrum was not auctioned.
NGIC's origin is rooted in our national vision of universal access to broadband, delivering citizen-centric services through e-government initiatives. It is our expectation that the implementation of this will see NGIC democratize mobile broadband services and become a catalyst for growth in Ghana's telecoms market, enabling mobile network operators to focus on customer excellence, deliver differentiated and innovative services, and foster a high-tech economy with digital entrepreneurs. Our youth will have the opportunity to become digital entrepreneurs, driving innovation and economic growth. It will also facilitate the entry of other network operators into the Ghana market, riding on this infrastructure to deliver their services.
That was the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufo.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. The Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfro is also Deputy Minister for Information and Vice Chairman of the Communications Committee of Parliament. He's Honorable Sylvester Tete. He was actually at this particular press conference. Sly, welcome to Eyewitness News and congratulations on your new job. It's the first time we are speaking to you since you became Minister for our sector.
Thank you very much, Omar Sanda.
How are you easing yourself into the new job?
Well, Omar Sanda, let me say good evening to your listeners this evening and to your good self. It's been a while. This is what we've been doing for a very long time, even in Parliament as the Vice Chairman of the Communication and Information Committee of Parliament. We've been doing this for a while now. We are now at the position of policy promotion and, of course, policy for government and the country as a whole. So, yes, I'm learning into the new job. I have a new boss. We are working to ensure that we promote proper government information to the good people of our country.
Very well. Let's talk about the press conference today. So this will be the usual meet the press or the press briefings that you bring ministries to your place to come and do. And this one today was a turn of the Minister for Communication. But ahead of that, a lot of interest was generated around a contract that was given to a company that was going to provide us with 5G services. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuri-Awuni drew the attention of the public that the company that was given this contract had been created just a week prior, and that raises eyebrows around what the vehicle that was created was for and why we would settle on a company that is just 1 week old. What is the government's position on this matter?
Well, thank you once again, Marusanda. I think that the position of Manasseh Azuri and of subsequent commentary on this matter needs to be explained. It is not true that a company was promulgated or incorporated a week ago and is given such a contract to manage our 5G spectrum. That is not true. This is a special purpose vehicle, and government has taken a very proactive decision in view of how we manage our 2G, 3G, and 4G in time past. So government has taken a decision that we are not auctioning the 5G to any particular company. What we are going to do is to promote a special purpose vehicle where government and the active players in the industry will own it, so that it will promote fairness, equity, transparency, and fair competition for all the industry players. We auctioned our 4G since 2015. Till now, we've had only 15% penetration for 4G usage, and mainly in the city centers. So the rest of the country where we are promoting digitalization and inclusion has been left off the 4G space. So if you've done this for 9 years and you have attained only 15% inclusion penetration rate, then there's a problem. Now we are going for 5G. Are you going to auction it for the highest bidder or whoever qualifies to run it? The person picks it, play off everybody from the industry, yet we don't get the necessary benefit from the 5G. So government says, no, we are not going to auction it. We'll own part of it. All the industry players should own part of it. So this special purpose vehicle was put together by all the industry players, those who had had experience with working with everybody, including the mobile network operators, to the extent that they will go onto the market where myself and you, if we are willing, we can invest and become co-shareholders of this particular special purpose vehicle. So for a special purpose vehicle, you don't need any years of experience to be able to manage. So people should get it. It is not a limited liability company of any sort that has been granted the opportunity to manage, but rather a special purpose vehicle with all the stakeholders as co-shareholders. And that what is going to do for us going forward by 2030, we want to have digital inclusion nationwide. where we are expecting to have about 90% penetration. So you can promote your business anywhere in this country. Other than the 4G that we auction, that for 9 years, we've had only 15% penetration. So that is the background to this whole thing we are talking about here.
So it was a consortium then that was deliberately created by government?
Yes, it's created by government with all the stakeholders. We're talking of KNET, we're talking of Ascent Digital, you are talking of MNOs, all of them come together to own shares in this. To promote competition, fair competition, inclusion, we take on the whole country. Otherwise, we give it to one particular company, it decides how to run it, and it takes on businesses only in the city centers to the detriment of the countryside.
Okay. Now, how do you promote competition when you put all the competitors in one group, telling them to own one network together? How can they compete when they are sharing?
Omaru, the 5G spectrum is to promote. It's like a platform, okay, that everybody has an equal opportunity to perform their activities there, and they understand it better, okay? Because if I own 4G and I'm the sole who has the sole right to 4G operations, I decide where I go. But in this case, government is a shareholder. You, Omaru Sanda, you are a shareholder. So you are not prohibited from undertaking your business to the best of your ability, as it were. We all own it. So nobody has monopoly over the spectrum.
Which vehicle in the consortium belongs to government? For which reason you and I own it? What is the government interest in there?
No, the government, it's a shares they have.
Yes, I know. So which list the companies for me again? You said KNET?
And I'm saying that government of Ghana, okay, the government of Ghana, in collaboration with Ascent Digital, KNET, Redseed, Nokia, and Tech Mahindra, these are people who put together a consortium. So if you want the details of it, I'm telling you, all these companies, including the MNOs, they are all shareholders. They've been invited to own shares so that nobody is played out of this space.
It's interesting you mentioned the MNOs, because I've seen elsewhere that the biggest of them, MTN, is not in this so-called consortium. And they are the ones who are more than ready, it appears, to give us this service, but they are not part of this group. Can you explain that?
So the point is that from the minister's briefing, all the MNOs have been invited and have been asked to participate, to the extent that, like I'm still talking to you, the company will be listed. If Omaru, you have your money and you want to participate in the 5G, you can get on board. Tomorrow, if they want to come, there's a space for them. Everybody. So that we don't promote unfair competition. Somebody says, I want to own it all by myself, and I decide to do my business with it. Let us all own it. We want to have total penetration in this country by 2030. The experience of the 4G has taught us that, like other countries have done, they auction it, they take their money, and they go away. Government has the right to say, I want to auction my 5G. Get whichever money I'll get by a transactional advisor, whatever means, I get my money. The highest bidder who proposes to have the technical competence and the money, pay me my money and I walk off. We did that with the 4G. What has it benefited this country after 9 years? The experience has guided this government to say that, no, we want to all own it. Everybody should play a part in this so that nobody pays money to have monopoly over the 5G.
The company you mentioned that you said government is collaborating with is a private company, right? Who owns that particular company?
Which company are you referring to? The SPV?
Say that again.
The SPV?
No, there's another name you mentioned.
There's an SPV. I'm saying that all the companies here, there are a number of...
Yeah, I want you to repeat the list so that I'll show you which one I was going to talk about. It's not KNET, it's not Nokia. There's another company you mentioned.
Ascent Digital.
Good, that one. It's a private company and it's collaborating with government to be part of this vehicle. That's the understanding I'm getting. Is that correct?
Company. I've mentioned a number of companies, including your good stuff. If it's listed, you could
No, not that. No, don't worry about that. I'm talking about the ones that are currently on the paper. The Ascent Digital that you mentioned.
But that is not the only company I've mentioned.
I know, but that's the only company that government has entered the consortium with as a collaborator, correct?
It is not the only company.
Which other company has government entered this consortium with?
The consortium is the government of Ghana in collaboration with Ascent Digital, KNET, Ready, Nokia, Tech Mahindra, and by all mobile network operators, MNOs in Ghana. So the opportunity is for everybody. It's not limited to us and digital. No.
Okay, I get it now. Thank you for this clarification. I don't know if you have time, but I'll be grateful if you can indulge me, because I just want to hear from the person, the investigative journalist who first raised this issue.
Right.
I'll put these issues to him and ask him what he says. After that, I'll come back to you. So if you could kindly stay on the line for me. That's Honorable Sylvester Tete. He's MP and Deputy Minister for Information. Manasseh Azuri-Awini is joining us on the other line. Manasseh, so I just spoke to the Deputy Minister. He says the company you talk about may be 1 week old, but it's not a company in the sense of the word when we say a company that has just been hurriedly created. Rather, it's a consortium of companies where the government of Ghana is collaborating with a number of companies, including the mobile network operators, to do this because they want to promote healthy competition and also sharing of this particular 5G space. Would you say that your information was scanty when you put out what you put out, or you disagree with what he's saying with contrary facts?
Well, if you say it is a consortium of companies and the agreement or the contract is awarded to this company alone, and if you look at the registration document, the shareholders for this company are in there, and one does not see the consortium. What we may ask for is more information to prove that this is not going to only one person. And I'm saying this because we have a similar experience of, I don't know if you've heard about Smart Infraco, that we are told was brought in to manage the fiber optic cable that was set up and to connect assemblies and MMDAs. And last year, I went through the Volta region up to Nkwanta to Dambai, where the cable is supposed to supply internet to the assemblies, and all of them were not connected. And I'm seeing another name with Infraco. So the other one is Smart Infraco, and this one's Next Generation Infraco. And I don't see the connection or the link to these other companies that are coming on board. What I see is that this company has been given the deal and it is partnering with others to execute. And the question is, could we have opened it up and allowed many companies to also tell us their partners and who they would want to do business with?
Okay.
So if they're saying, okay, sorry.
Have you seen the shareholding of this company, which we are now told is a consortium? Have you seen the shareholding? Are they not the shareholders as have been listed by the government through the Deputy Minister?
No, there are only two shareholders. This person with a Nigerian name and another shareholder, Legal Integrated Consulting Limited. And then the shareholder, which is a company, is actually also owned by the individual listed. The details are on my Facebook page, but I'm prepared to even forward it to you. There are only two shareholders for this company, and none of these other so-called consortium are listed as shareholders. So that is why I'm saying that the government may really need to convince us, because you're saying you are giving it to one company and it's the sole service provider or distributor of that 5G network, and you are telling us that, oh, it is a consortium of companies. But when you look at the shareholding and the ownership, you see only one individual and then another company, and the directors are only two, same individual and another one with a surname, I think Awuno or so.
Okay.
So I want to see a real justification on paper, because all the communication, even to the NCA and the licensing, everything is directed to this company whose shareholders are known. And so if they are now mentioning many others, the stories I have read from some publications outside of Ghana indicates that this company got a contract and it is partnering with others to deliver. But if the government is saying that it's a consortium, I'm yet to see any documentation that points to the fact that others are on board, and they are part owners of this Next Generation Infraco Limited.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
That's Manasseh Azuria winning. Honorable Sly, so he says his digging shows that there were only 2 directors or shareholders of this company. He mentions, he says one person with a Nigerian name and another group he refers to as legal integration. Is that something that you can confirm, or if you will not, what are the facts about the shareholding of this consortium?
I'm surprised. I don't know where he's reading from, what information he has. I don't want to take away anything from Manasseh, but the point I'm making is that this is not an auction of the 5G. It's a special purpose vehicle put together by all these companies I've mentioned. I believe as the matter unfolds, further and better particulars will be provided. At this stage, I don't even know where he's quoting from, which company specifically he's referring to. I've told you from the beginning, there is no company that had been entered into contract except the SPV put together by government. And government itself is a shareholder in the SPV put together. So if he has any contrary information, he may have to share with us for us to cross-check. So for me, where I see what I've seen, obviously, this is a SPV put together with all these active players in the industry. Couldn't have been one person that has won a bid for the 5G. We have taken the firm position that we are not, government is not going to auction the 5G as we did auction the 4G, that after 9 years, we've had only 15% market penetration. That is so not good for business promotion in this country, where we want to attain 100% digital inclusion across the country.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much.
That's Honorable Deputy Minister for Information, Sylvester Tete. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. More coming your way when we come back. Please stay.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe mamu more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe mamu lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal Pack with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
Are you a contractor, builder, or a proud homeowner with an eye for quality and security? Well, look no further than Yale. Yale is the trusted name in security for over 180 years. When it comes to securing your home or business, trust Yale. We make security simple, and we're right here in the heart of Accra, Ghana. Visit our stunning showroom on 11th Lane Street in Osu, Accra, and discover a world of premium Yale products, including door hardware, handles, and door locks that will elevate the security and style of your space. Whether you're building from scratch or renovating, Yale has the perfect solution for you. Our products are known for their durability, innovation, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit us today and experience the Yale difference. Your security, our priority. Yale, locking in your peace of mind.
You know your papa see that? And it's Rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa! Oh, Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Don't feel better energy.
Can't touch this.
Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that?
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman Mane. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about Kezi Latu-Forson. He's a minority leader in Parliament. His name has been at the center of controversy around the Attorney General's tape, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame. The NDC called a press conference and played that tape to the public, saying that the Attorney General was seeking to compromise one of the accused persons, Richard Jakpa, in that case. Tonight, we are learning that the minority leader who is the first accused, the Honorable Latu-Forson, has petitioned the Chief Justice asking for a televised asking for the remainder of the proceedings to be televised. Eduji Kujo Tameklo is the Director of Legal Affairs for the National Democratic Congress. He's joined us on the line for more on this. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Omaro, good evening. Good evening to your listeners.
So, I don't know, educate us. We do know that in the past we've seen court hearings being televised. The last one was the LGBTQI decision in the Supreme Court. We saw it televised, and this was upon a request from the Attorney General. Can a lawyer or a person in a case also apply for it to be televised, like the manner that you're doing? Under what ground? What are the grounds?
Okay, so Omaro, as you've rightly pointed out, as lawyers for the Honorable Kezi Latu-Forson, we have written a letter humbly requesting Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, to permit the remainder of the ongoing criminal trial to have the benefits of it being televised. And we believe that same ought to be done within the spirit of transparency and accountability. We do not want anything to happen as it were to create an impression that anybody is hiding from anything. We want everything to be out there so that the good people of this country will have the benefit of how the proceeding will go going forward.
What is
our humble prayer? Our humble prayer is premised on the matters that have unfolded in the past few days. It is our humble prayer that this request will be granted. We have no doubt in our minds that Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, will graciously grant this request. At least there is that precedent where a similar request had reached out to the high office of the Chief Justice and same was granted. In fact, you referenced it in your introduction, which has to do with the matters involving the LGBTQ, where in the superior wisdom of Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, she took the view upon a request by the Attorney General that the matters involved borders on national interest and for that matter, she would permit the benefits of Ghanaians having to see the proceedings as it were, unfold. That spirit is, it is within that spirit that we are making this humble prayer to her ladyship, the Chief Justice.
Now, your worry is that what? Open court is open court. Whatever will be happening will be in open court. There will be lawyers, there will be people in the gallery. What difference or what different thing do you seek to achieve by bringing the cameras in there? Is it that you are afraid that your clients will not be treated well? But if they will not, the judge would be there, right?
In fact, if you read the letter we have sent to Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, we make no reference to fear or any apprehension whatsoever. We have absolute confidence in the courts. We are simply saying that within the spirit of transparency and accountability, the people of this country should have the benefits of seeing what happens going forward. We do not have any fear whatsoever.
This press conference that was held by your party, is it going to be mentioned in any way in the court? Is there going to be a petition relating to that, something around the judge taking judicial notice of that? Are you going to formally report to the judge what has happened, or you're going to leave it as is?
Now, if you reference the press conference that was addressed by the respected and distinguished national chairman of the NDC, the points were made clear. At the tail end of it, some calls were made. One, that the Attorney General of the Republic, having engaged in this despicable, unprofessional conduct, ought to, in good conscience, resign or be sacked. We have also given the clearest indication by the national chairman of the NDC that in the circumstance, we will trigger, since the Attorney General is also a minister, we will trigger the necessary parliamentary censorship processes. We do appreciate that if you look at the constitutional structure, even a minister whose conduct or actions are found favor by way of censorship, where majority of MPs have taken that initiative, is still within the prerogative of the president, as it were, to proceed with the censorship report or even maintain the minister. So we appreciate the constitutional limitations relative to the issue of censorship. But nonetheless, it is a process recognized within our constitutional architecture that we can trigger. And same had been referenced in the press conference by the national chairman of the NDC. So these are all options on the table. As to whether the judge will take judicial notice or not, I will not, and I'm not in position to make that decision for the judge. We, as lawyers for Mr. Kesel Atto-Forson, have the right within what is permissible by law to, as it were, bring that to the notice of the court. So those options are all available to.
And will you exercise that right to inform the judge formally?
At this juncture, and as you are aware, there's already a formal motion before the court. The return date being the 4th of June. On that day, what is legally permissible will be triggered. And we'll see how things unfold going forward.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
That's Eduji Kujo Tamaklo. He's lawyer for Kesela Forcing and also Director of Legal Affairs of the NDC. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's go on the campaign trail now. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is in the Volta region campaigning. A number of things he's been talking about the past few days have to do with fixing the cedi. He says he's going to rely on our gold reserves to deal with the cedi's depreciation. We'll be bringing you a full interview that Bernard had with Deputy Finance Minister on the City Breakfast Show today. We're bringing you that on Point Blank in case you missed it. But before then, on the Situation Room, a show on City TV that airs Thursdays at 3 p.m., hosted by myself and Sami Wiafi. We talked about this particular subject of gold coming to support the cedi. And my colleague Sami Wiafi interviewed Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's Director of Communications of the Dr. Bawumia campaign team. Let's listen to him.
Campaigning in the Volta region. We started off very early in the morning with the flag bearer meeting the clergy, and then as we speak, he just wrapped up the meeting with the regional House of, and currently at the whole central market, interacting with the market women. So far, where the chiefs and the religious leaders have all expressed optimism with the vision that the Vice President is espousing for the next phase of Ghana's development. In fact, the President of the House of Chiefs in the Volta region indicated, and he says that they welcome Dr. Bawumia's progressive and forward-looking ideas for Ghana, and they look forward to collaborating with him in the developmental agenda. It's been good so far, and we are looking forward to ending the day on a very good note.
All right, Dennis, yesterday, the flag bearer met the cedi. Explain that, because he's come under fire, particularly for that particular statement he made as to how he's going to be able to use the gold reserve to stabilize the cedi. Exactly what was he trying to put across?
Well, Dr. Bawumia's advocacy for our utilization of the gold to back our currency, it's not one that started today. In fact, if you look at a country like England, one of the reasons why the British pound is so strong is as a result of their ability to back that currency with gold. And for all countries who are able to have such natural resources and strongly use it to back their currency, you see the strength. And that is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is proposing. It takes a while. There are lots of things that need to be done within the natural resources space. There are lots of regulatory changes that would have to be done, and systems that would have to be strengthened. But ultimately, the objective is to ensure that the gold that we are mining in this country, at least before it leaves the shores of this country, is retained here to give some strength to our currency. Before anything else. So if you recall, recently, as I think some 18 months or 20 months ago, when we had challenges with fuel and the fact that the currency was struggling, when we started a gold for oil policy, you'd realize that all we needed to do was to buy the gold here in Ghana City and then utilize it in exchange for oil. And so it reduces our demand for the dollar. And so once you put in place mechanisms to reduce the demand for the dollar, then what you are doing is that you are reducing the dollar's strength on your currency. And his view is that if we have a natural resource like gold, which we can store a lot more, then we will be able to use that as a bargaining chip to ensure that we reduce the pressure on our currency.
So that's Dennis Miracles Abuaji. He's Director of Communication of the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign team, speaking to us on the Situation Room. He was speaking to Sami Wiafi, my colleague. I also spoke to Beatrice Annan, I beg your pardon. She's spokesperson for one of the spokespersons of the John Mahama campaign team. Now, John Mahama has also been making a number of statements about the campaign and the elections. Key amongst them, he talks about a new region, not a new region, creating a new city to support or to take the gridlock we see in Accra away. So I quizzed her on that and other campaign messages. Let's listen to her.
I had the privilege of representing some clients who wanted to purchase those lands, and I was asking, what's happening? This is family. Why are the lands expensive? And the landmark reason was because BOG was constructing a new office close to where those lands are. So the idea is that just like South Africa has done, just like Nigeria has done, when you move outside Accra, you don't get a feel of development. And every young person, every big business that comes wants to still set up in Accra because of access to hospitals, internet, and other amenities. And so President Mahama is saying that, first of all, one, we embark on decongesting Accra by taking some departments, agencies, and ministries out of Accra to designated regions, so that if you want to work in those ministries, departments, and agencies, you don't have to migrate to Accra. And that will be the short-term vision. But in the long term, which he himself anticipates will take more than 20 years, we are trying to create another city. You can see that Tema is one of the well-planned cities we have in Ghana, where you have various communities, where you have specific places designated for industry, for schools, also because in Kuma deliberately planned Tema. And so the NDC government, when given the nod, would create the plan and the feasibility studies to make sure that...
Is it about the gold and the city stabilization?
Sorry, continue. Continue.
Yes, so the NDC government will create another city, but we anticipate that because it will take a long time, we will start with the plan, the design, and the feasibility studies, so that the next generation can also come and continue. But whichever way, we risk having a capital that is very small. You know, Accra is very small in land size when you compare to the other regions.
Okay. So when you say create another city, so are we going to do the Washington DC kind of thing? We're going to look for vast land which is unoccupied and design a city out of it. Is that what we are looking at?
Exactly.
So because he mentioned the Accra Plains, so it means an area like Chopoli, necessarily the national capital. Is that the idea?
So the idea is not to bring any city close to the national capital again, because we are saying that the capital is choked. But when you listen to him, he makes the argument that it must be certain regions, Greater Accra and Volta region. And I'm sure. So when we conduct the feasibility study, then we can tell the most appropriate place that we think that this new city should be. And President Mahama has a track record. When he wanted to build the Saglemi, he didn't come to demolish existing houses in Accra and all that to do that. You see that he came far away to Saglemi, where you had a lot of vast land so that you could plan. And I think that that's a better way of developing the country, because tomorrow when you go outside Accra, your internet is an issue. Access to, we've had instances where ministers of state, members of parliament have had to die because they were in their constituencies in regions outside Accra, and they could not access that we are developing. And we welcome diverse opinion, we welcome diverse suggestions as to how we can make this a reality.
Beatrice, you are a Nungwa girl, an area I've stayed for many years. You do know that Nungwa being in the Greater Accra region, there was a plan to move Greater Accra regional capital to Dodowa decades ago. That thing has not happened. Could you not explore that rather, so that you can still leave the capital as is, but then create a new regional capital for Greater Accra?
I think what the NDC is seeking to do is not to create a capital or assign names and titles. President Mahama has said that Accra can still be the capital. Greater Accra can still be the capital. What we are seeking to do is to respond to the growing demand of the middle class or urbanization, so that In my town, for instance, Nungwa, as you rightly mentioned, it's heavily populated. Now, if you have people migrating from Bono region, of getting better jobs and industries in Accra, renaming the city may not change.
So that's Beatrice Anand. She speaks for the John Mahama campaign. She was speaking to me on the Situation Room on Citi TV. Catch the Situation Room on Citi TV every Thursday at 3 p.m. with myself and Sami Wiafe. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. There are some reactions to this proposal by the former president to do the city, to create a city outside Accra to deal with the issues having to do with congestion. In fact, if you haven't heard him, let me just play the audio for you so that you can listen to exactly what the former president said.
We will start a visibility study and a plan to build a new city. Accra is getting gridlocked. The time has come for us to move some parts of the government services out of Accra. Accra will continue to be the capital, but we'll move part of it outside. There's land on the Accra Plains, there's land on the other bank of the Volta Lake and all that. Already we're going to have a port terminal at Mpakadan to move cargo to the northern part of the country. There's a lot of land there. And so we can move some of the ministries, agencies, and departments out of the city so that we decongest Accra. Because Accra has expanded to its limits. The way it is going, if we're not careful, it will be difficult to continue to manage it as a viable city. And so we'll start the plan and the design and the feasibility. I believe that this will be a project that will take maybe 20 years to fulfill, but we need to start somewhere. And so we'll start, others will come and continue from where we leave off.
So that's former President John Dramani Mahama, who is also NDC flag bearer. We have reactions to this, don't we, Hawa?
Now, an urban planner, Professor Ni Odate Mills, has lauded a proposal by former President John Mahama to construct a new city outside Accra to reduce the congestion in the capital. Speaking with Citi News, Professor Odate Mills says a new city will not only ease congestion in the capital, but enable decentralization of key infrastructure, including embassies.
Accra is a bit congested. For instance, Abuja in Nigeria, it's a desert land, but because of the congestion in Lagos, they relocated it to that place so that it will be like a centralized town to ease the congestion from Lagos. The same thing can be done in Ghana. Let's just choose a particular place where it will be very close to the sea, and then also very close to an area where you don't have a lot of congestion. So we can start with things very new. Planning can go on. Then we reallocate areas to specific things without necessarily compromising on anything. They only want to rotate in Accra, like they were trying to do with the Plaza House. You run into trouble because people are already there. You have to relocate embassies and all that. But if you go to a virgin land, then you want to do it. And in terms of relocating, breaking down buildings and things will be minimized. And you have the free space to plan things the way you like it without any interference. So I think that's very important.
Professor Ni Odate Mills is an urban planner. Now, the government effort to restructure debt owed the independent power generators could hit a bump in the coming months as the IPPs have threatened to boycott ongoing talks to settle $1.6 billion in arrears. According to the chief executive of the IPPs, Eyewitness, the government has not kept its side of the bargain on payment, despite some of the producers agreeing to haircuts and other energy charge reductions. In an interview with Citi News, Eyewitness explained that the delay in the government fulfilling its mandate is adversely impacting their operations.
Sometime last year, the Ministry of Finance or government negotiation team invited the IPP to a renegotiation table over our outstanding debt. Government challenge has been that there are certain issues or certain concerns around the debt that have to be looked at. Some proposal was that we should accept a haircut on those debts, given the fact that government is in very tough times economically. We have shown commitment. We have shown concern about the challenges of the economy. We all surrendered. We sat at the table. We had series of engagement, but we are not making any headway anywhere. Eventually, we came to some terms to the extent that some IPPs have agreed to a discount of 15% on the outstanding receivables. Some others suggested cost-saving measures that will help the system for the benefit of all. We did all this. Government part of this fair negotiation is still delaying. This agreement has to be served up for us to have our way forward or to get them implemented. We have not been getting any call-up again to see where the decisions are reached. The more you keep us, some value of money, the more you keep us, the more laws you are keeping, you are forcing us. So there is the basic reason. We can't be waiting forever.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Power Generators Ghana, Elekplim Akpetogbo.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Ghana must grow. KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, because hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program, because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
You know, Papa see that? And his rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how be your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Details of our stories now. Ghana achieved a significant trade surplus of 11.5% in the first quarter of 2024. The surplus comes amidst a notable 20.4% increase in the average prices of export commodities between quarter 1 of 2023 and quarter 1 of 2024. According to the latest quarterly report released by the Ghana Statistical Service, this increase signals a promising economic trajectory for the nation. Here is government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Inim speaking at the maiden launch of the Export and Import Price Indices report with more highlight.
We start with the absolute values from the first quarter of 2024. From the first quarter of 2024, our total trade value, as we mentioned, was 107.6 billion Ghana cedis. Nominal figure. If you look at this in real terms, it is less than half what we got in nominal terms. In real terms, our trade value in the first quarter of 2024 was 47.0 billion Ghana cedis. So what that means is that about 59 billion Ghana cedis of our trade value in the first quarter of 2024 was as a result of what? Price changes. Because in real terms, we've discounted the effect of price changes, and in real terms, our total value in the first quarter of 2024 was 47.0 billion Ghana cedis. If you look at it from a time perspective, in the first quarter of 2021, our total trade value was 44.5 billion Ghana cedis. This has increased by 2.4 times relative to the first quarter of 2024.
Professor Samuel Kobna Inim is the government statistician. The Bank of Ghana's inflation forecasting modules have shown that it is on course to restore inflation to a single digit by 2025. The modules have also given backing to the central bank's 2024 end-of-year target of 13 to 17% as it projects further declines in inflation figures in the months ahead. There is more in the following report.
Near-term models predict that inflation is expected to gradually decrease to the medium-term target range of 8 plus or minus 2%. Inflation decreased to 25% in April 2024 from the 25.8% recorded in March. The models by the Bank of Ghana have already projected that inflation for May could range between 21 and 26%. Providence Mreku is with the Bank of Ghana's Communications Department, and he assures that the country's inflation trajectory is moving in the right direction.
If you look at all the predictions from the various forecasting models, you will see a high of 26.8% and a low of 21.3%. Invariably, what it means is that May inflation from these models is forecast to be anywhere in between this high forecast and this low forecast. Now, for the bank, the best performing model, MSPE, is suggesting an inflation of 22.2%. Now, in the same way, the fan chart is also telling us that our inflation target into the medium term, the quarter 4 of 2025, is lying somewhere between 5% and 10%. And if you recall, that's the bank's medium term inflation target of 8 plus or minus 2%. So what we are picking from the fan charts in a nutshell is that the projection to see inflation fall between 15 plus or minus 2% for end year 2024 is on course, as well as the medium-term projection where inflation is expected to return to the bank's medium-term band by 2025 quarter 4.
This positive forecast, however, faces potential challenges as the depreciation of the cedi, increases in crude oil prices, and adjustments in transportation and utility costs could moderate the projections.
That was a News Desk report read to you by Netili Neti Ajaho. The government is making major strides in finalizing a debt restructuring agreement with bilateral creditors. The Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, is currently diving into the last leg of negotiations with these creditors at the 2024 African Development Bank annual meetings in Kenya. Here is more.
According to sources close to Citi Business News, the government is in the final stages of reviewing the draft Memorandum of Understanding that outlined the terms of restructuring with bilateral creditors before the IMF board convenes next month to discuss Ghana's program. The IMF had previously signaled its intention to proceed with a meeting based on assurances of financing from bilateral creditors. This development suggests that the IMF may have everything it needs to approve Ghana's program and release the third tranche of $360 million Market analysts emphasized the importance of expediting the assessment to facilitate foreign exchange inflows to support the local currency. The government reiterated its commitment to maintaining fiscal discipline, especially during the election period. Negotiations with Eurobond holders are expected to be finalized in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, who is currently attending the 2024 African Development Bank annual meetings in Kenya, is actively engaging with investor community to garner support for Ghana's robust economic recovery.
That was a news desk report by Citi Business's Emmanuel Opon. And that's it for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. My name is Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
KB, yo. Hey, KB, aka Kubeboga, now drives a Bugatti. He can even travel by road from Accra to London. Oh, wow. KB's source of wealth is agriculture. Yes, coconut business. After losing his bank job, he started supplying coconuts at events. Now, he owns large coconut plantations and employs many young people. Charlie, we all need to trust the process, cause hope days.
There has never been a better time to enter into agribusiness. Take a bold step today with the Ghana Grows program because every step pays. Ejuma Wokrom, Ghana Grows, Hope Day, an initiative of the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse.
There are some classy celebrations that call for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle up to 50% more than the industry standard and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP with carbon neutral properties. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandama. Tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about the economy. But before then, just some quick information coming through. Organized Labour is currently meeting with the Employment and Labour Relations Minister, Ignatius Bafo-Ewa, to address concerns regarding the ongoing sale of 4 SNIT hotels to Rock City Hotel, owned by Minister for Agri Brian Achampong. This follows a directive from the President for the Employment Minister to engage with Organized Labour on the matter. Earlier today, SNIT met with the Organized Labour, assuring them that the deal to sell the hotels had not been finalized and that negotiations were still ongoing. Despite this assurance, Organized Labour is insisting that the entire deal be cancelled. Now, this morning, Bernard Avle on the City Breakfast Show discussed So, Deputy Minister of Finance and MP for Nshiase, Dr. Stephen Amoah, also known as Stika, spoke about the Ghana cedi, the issues around the depreciation.
What you are wearing, didn't we import? We imported this. We imported that. Cedi depreciation is a ritual problem. I agree with you. It's not because of one particular government. Unless one is suffering from unconscious incompetence or displaying intellectual dishonesty, that will say that cedi depreciation is MPP government. It's an issue that has nationalistic, or that needs nationalistic attention. That one I agree. But it's not. So far we keep on being in importer-driven economy. We'll be having problems with the cedi because we import almost everything. But inshallah, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, next year if he comes, we're going to design a long-term framework to deal with the cedi. So
that's Dr. Stephen Amoah, Deputy Minister of Finance and MP for Nshiase, Dr. Stika, his nickname is Stika, speaking there to journalists. So this morning, Bernard Avila called him up to explain what exactly he meant when he said what he said about the cedi depreciation being a ritual issue, and that it is not necessarily, or it's not an MPP government issue per se. This was the interview.
I'm surprised that all the things I'm raising as a country will help us, not even trying to do politics with it. You still want to push me into politics, which I think will not help you, me, and Ghana. I have not sat here to say that the dollar today is good. Even if Dr. Bawumia has said that, without even admitting the context that Ghanaians are using it today, even if he has said that, without me admitting even the context we use today, we still have to stick that. That was my argument. And that was why I identified the problems. And also identify solutions that as a country we've been adopting and that we need to move step ahead. And mind you, we all have different regimes. The situation in which Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government and then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia government went through the 7 years, you can never in any way, unless probably we think there is no God or we don't know what we are talking about, compare the same problems and challenges that we have globally, and as an import-driven economy, we're badly affected to a large extent. You cannot compare the two. If you are not well today, and you cannot go to work, or something happens as Citi Group or whatever, and your salaries are slashed or you are not paid for some time, you cannot say that because you could not pay your child's school fees first week of opening school, which you have been doing, your wife has to divorce you. This is what we want to talk about. So the regimes were different. But I wouldn't say one even did better or worse. I'm not talking about that. I am an expert in these areas. And I am saying that, of course, Dr. Bawumia alone cannot rule Ghana and change Ghana. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa alone cannot. His Excellency former President Mahama alone cannot. They work with a team. And sometimes even some of your mistakes for 7 years or 6 years or 2 years, Bernard, but I've given you experience or open a new page where you can redefine your new, you can introduce new paradigm shift. You're dealing with, even when it comes to health sector. Now, what happens to COVID? COVID is still there. You are not having the mortality or fatality that we're having again. I'm sure a time will come, they can be eradicated. That is how solutions are found when it comes to developing a society or a country or whatever. So your questions are correct. But let's also accept the answers that, yes, whether NGC blamed MPP blamed NGC, whether one's magnitude was bigger or smaller, my argument is that most of the times our solutions are short-term. And in dealing with currency issues, we need a long-term. And when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes, we're going to do that. We'll look into
in your analysis, how long is long term?
Bernard, when I say long term, it's a strategic statement. When I say strategic, we normally deal with even over 1 year or 2 years, depending. So you know, you're a very smart person. You know what maybe it's also good because one listener.
No. You see,
so, I'm not faulting, but when we say long term,
yes,
it has to do with strategic decisions and approach and framework. And when we say short term, you're dealing with tactical, something to deal with the short term issues to mitigate or solutions.
I understand that. You see, the reason I'm asking is that in the context of the CD and the solutions you provide is long term, a year, 3 years, or a decade. Because
to me, your questions, you are so good. Not that I'm pretending. I respect you so much. Your questions are very good. What I know is that sometimes it depends on one, meritocracy. If Dr. Baumia comes, and in terms of giving positions and assigning people, we are able to manage the configuration of our key resources and core competencies very well. And then they will not go and place the car at where Bernard is now that they know the way you are handling your program. I cannot. Maybe it will even move things faster. Two, it will depend on the prevailing challenges because you can start even 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and something can come up unexpectedly that you cannot do. Let's all be real. Let's be realistic. And let us be particular in dealing with this situation because I am tired of Ghana always MPT blaming NDC blaming NDC, and recycle the same variables. What I'm saying is that if we're able to build our industries well, if we're able to sit down and plan that we know that 100,000 hectares can give us the banana that we need, so we not import any banana fruits. And this is how I've designed the value chains. We can do that within 8 months or 1 year, get the right labor force, the skill component, get machines, start producing, do our international trade connections and export, and that will take 1.5 years. And we can also go into this and do these things, and probably about 2.5 years to 3 years. Now, everything agriculture, apart from the machine aspect, we produce them here and export. We can deal with most of these problems. It will also provide sustainable jobs, and we will deal away with easy importation.
So don't forget that
2 and 3 years we should be able to do that.
Wonderful. Don't forget that we've already had a period of one district, one factory, which has been on for at least 6 years, right? So in the solution you propose around industrialization and competitiveness, one could say, well, you've been touting the virtues of an industrialization program for as long as possible, and yet you're still saying we would have to do A, B, C, D, which is essentially the same thing. Did you get my point? So if I ask the question of the term, is it like the 1D, 1F hasn't gotten to its full maturity yet, for which reason we can't do import substitution? Or is it that the agric processing hasn't gotten to a point? Or is it that the appetite? Because if you've had a 6 to 7 year industrialization program, which you've touted as one of the best, and this is not you, but the government, we should be seeing the fruits in a more stable currency. But if after 6 years the currency is still depreciating that much, is it that the type of industrialization we are doing is wrong, or there's something missing in the 1D, 1F? I'm using that as an example of the solution.
I mean, the media man is asking this. I wish and pray that all media men in Ghana, I'm not saying you are the best or you are better than anybody, but they should learn these things and provide the same question, ask the same question, so that we can build Ghana. And technically, what you're raising is very, very good for any good discussion, any constructive discussion. But Bernard, as much as I agree to the question and the concerns, let's also not forget about the fact that, as I said, uncertainties can even touch your whole program in terms of time or timing or whatever, or schedule out of track or GI. You know that. That is one. Two, some of the policies frameworks that we even bring out, because of the failures and the weaknesses along the value chains, where we have different segments, and probably because of what should have gone in preceding the implementation of the program, might give us more experience now. You know that strategy has 3 lenses, so far as I know. 1 is by evaluative technique. 2, by ideas. 3, by experience. So what you all know is that sometimes I don't think outside City again. Look, I used to come to City so many years back. I'm sure you have not even been there. Look at how City is progressing. I'm sure there were certain things you wanted to do. You didn't get what you wanted because of probably a few challenges or mistakes. But with time, you got new experience, You brought new things on board. Probably you make changes in your operations. Maybe you make changes in your personnel. And then, now you are getting everybody saying that, oh, peace. And they mention Bernard. So I agree with what you're saying. So far as we're developing and building a country, look, United Kingdom, go and check their health policy. I think 2006 or 7, or even far earlier, they had a lot of issues, huge deficits when it comes to their health policy, as we are doing NHI here. Even those who have about 500-year democracy and whatever that they are developed economies, you have a system, a society. You're dealing with a very complex value chain. So what you are saying is true. But for all you know, the 1D1F, we may not be able to get where you are talking about, which I agree with you. It has done some good works for people, because it has employed some people. We have over 100 of them. But maybe as to how we should have computerized or sat down to put in place scientifically designed framework that will give us the numbers and let us calculate percentage to GDP and other things, or maybe how we're supposed to design the value chain before even going on board as to, raw material base, availability, transport system, roads, employment first, at the first segment, which is inbound, and the operations level, marketing and stuff like that, and the IT. Maybe we did not, maybe, I'm not saying we didn't. But maybe because of that, now we got more experience.
Okay. So the final, last but one question. So until then, right? Until then, between now, May 30 and December 7, what should we be doing? How should the currency be behaving? Because the question will be, you are the Deputy Finance Minister. Hold on. There's a new team in place. And I'm suspecting that the reason the team was put in place was to manage what we have now while we wait for whoever will win next year to do the long-term things. So between now and December 7, there's an economy to be managed, which I believe you are part of the management team. What assurance are you giving the business community about what specific things you're doing now to stem the slide while we wait for whoever wins 2024 to bring the long-term solutions you talk about?
Okay, yet another good question. Bernard, as I said, in short term, we need tactical approach to mitigate the impact of what is going on and probably reduce it. And first, we need to look at our performance in the area of primary macro indicators, because that is a bedrock. Almost all the indicative targets set by the IMF or between us, IMF and the World Bank and other relevant stakeholder bodies, we have outperformed them. When it comes to the GDP, interest rate, inflation rate, they are still not good enough. But if you have inflation moving from 54.1% to about 23.2%, and we are growing almost 3% against the initial target of 1.5%, which was moved to about 2.5%, we are doing all this. It's a sign of hope. That is one. Two, all of us, including you, Bernard, we should start putting in place anti-panic advocacy framework. All of us. Not to help MPP or NDC or government or anybody. Thirdly, we are trying as much as possible as a government to bring in a lot of dollars, i.e. the syndication loan, i.e. the second or the next tranche of the IMF financial support and other World Bank supports and funds coming in. And my minister was very emphatic and precise. Dr. Alaji Adams. He's one of the most fantastic ministers I've ever met. He works with us as a team, and you see the cohesion at the ministry. Go and find out. We are working together. The public servants or the civil servants, the politicians there, because we are working around the clock to change things. We are doing our best. So we are giving hope to Ghanaians that from now to December, we pray and hope that the aspect of the world price levels, which is also one of the key factors, will not do us any bad. Other than that, there is hope from now up to December, and we'll continue to do our best. It's a process. It is not an event.
So do you expect
And we are doing our best.
the currency to strengthen before December 7? It's now selling close to about 15 to the dollar.
I am expecting the currency to stabilize. I am expecting. That is my expectation.
To stabilize at which number? To stabilize around which number?
No, when it says stabilization, it doesn't have to take in place any number that we are talking about. You see, the problem with the
stability. What you see? Let me explain the question. What I'm saying.
You haven't even answered. You say no. So
because,
what do you want me to say?
Yes, let me.
Then tell me what you tell Ghanaians.
No, please. But what I'm saying is that the question is that.
But you ask a question.
Don't worry.
Can I answer?
No, I'm saying that you see, I have just like a couple of minutes, and I'm asking you to tell me around which figure you expect it to stabilize. That's all.
You say no. Then not that I'm being too no. At least have a PhD in finance.
So around which
you ask me.
So around which figure should it stabilize?
You can't go straight and say sugar. Figure. Sorry, that's what I'm explaining.
Okay,
you
so you can't give can you give a range? Can you give a range?
Nobody on this earth can say this. That's why if you allow me to explain, I'll explain.
Can you see no problem. You see the reason I'm pushing this and interrupting you is that no, listen to my question, please. You see, I've heard people say that they met the IMF team and some have said that the currency is overvalued and that it will have to get to 20 to stabilize. So when I asked the Deputy Finance Minister at what level you expect the city to stabilize, I want to know your expectations for the natural stable level of the currency, which is why I'm interrupting you to answer. So it's not like I don't want you to answer the question. The question has to be put in proper context. Is the 16 figure, another one, Bloomberg, they wrote an article and said they expect the city to end the year around 16. Okay, so when I'm asking the Deputy Finance Minister, at what level you expect the currency to stabilize at? What number are you working with? What range are you working with? It's a simple question. Please.
So, can I answer now?
Yes.
My brother, if you talk about Bloomberg might have been doing probably currencies analysis or econometrics or with the figure for about 60 years. So, if they give a figure, you don't ask me question out of extempore, I should give you a so I should be able to explain to you. If you don't want to accept that, you are asking questions. You can't say it's
why are you saying the ministry doesn't have its figures? Are you saying no? If Bloomberg has a figure, does that mean the ministry doesn't have a figure it works with? Hasn't the ministry existed longer than 50 years?
You see, now you're making me think you want to be diabolic.
No. I ask you. This is my last question. I ask you. No.
Allow me to answer.
No, don't misconstrue my question.
You have your own answer.
No, don't misconstrue my question. The question. Yeah, but you are. I have no agenda. The question is simple.
No. What I'm saying is, you're asking a question.
Yes.
I'm asking you. I'm begging you. Let me answer. Then when I finish, you can come in.
But you are answering with you are answering by asking me a question and misconstruing my question.
No. I'm not asking your question this time. I never said when I asked your question, it was a different question.
So what expectations are you working with? Around what figure should the currency stabilize as a ministry?
What I'm saying is, can you allow me to answer?
Go ahead and answer.
You allow me, fine.
Go ahead and answer.
I told you 3 main or general causes or drivers. 1, I told you monetary expansion is 1. 2, real value in the market. Let's even assume the 2, in a way, can be played with domestically. 3rd one was world market levels. I can't sit here and say that 10 cities when I don't know what will happen when it comes to world market prices from now up to December. But I can say that we are doing our best to stabilize it. That is what I want. That's my answer. If that is not good enough to you, mark me 0. But listeners and experts are listening to us.
Well, I'm not here to mark you. I just wanted information.
You just called me to speak, and you're forcing me to give me a figure as I sit here.
No.
And you know I'm not even ready to listen to my answer.
No, that's not the point. You've spoken very much.
You can go AI, go anywhere, enter my answer to your question. Give to any professor if I'm wrong.
No, the objective is not here for rightness or wrongness.
Ghanaians,
you see,
you don't want to give me an answer.
Ghanaians,
you have your own answer in your mind.
I'm sure you know that expectations have a very important role they play in behavior when it comes to currency. So
Of course,
if
and
we know
expectations, expectations.
If we know the
You will always
expectation,
be wrong when you do expectations with whatever it is. It's
no
all
problem.
projections.
So you do
It's all
not
projections.
you do not want to put out a figure because that's not what you want to. That's fine.
I don't want to lie to you.
Wonderful.
I want to be honest.
Fair
I want
enough.
to be a Ghanaian, a God-fearing Ghanaian. I want to be somebody who understands what I'm doing. I'm telling you. Don't let me go and fake any figure.
So you simply say
So
it will
can anybody
stabilize.
say Ghana here and determine the world prices?
No.
Nobody can determine it. They are all done in a way to have rough idea what can happen.
Yeah.
So if I give you a figure, tomorrow somebody will come and say that Steve Namu has every financial
problem.
and the figure is not like that. You know.
Yeah.
So why do you want to push me into something like that?
Your answer. Your answer. I accept your answer.
Very
I'm just trying to let people know that when we ask for expectation, it's legitimate because there are many people who do projections.
No, yes, you are right.
Yes.
But when you ask, it is also legitimate for you to allow the person to answer.
Fair
when
enough.
you ask a question, let's even say that I'm failing with my answer. And let me give my answer.
So you will not give
And then
you will not give a range because it's not available to give at this point.
I will not give a range. That is your mind. What I'm saying is that what is important normally is not even the number. It's about how stable the currency is for investors to have an idea of how they can plan their businesses.
Yes, so
if it is $1,
yeah,
if it is $1,
I accept
and
that.
You'll be moving
I accept that.
1.3,
Mr. Safiyama, I accept that.
That is the explanation I want to give you.
I understand that. What I was asking was that, you see, when you say a currency is stable, it stabilizes around a certain number. The rate stabilizes. So, for example, unemployment rate has been stable around maybe 11 for 5 years. Now it's gone to 14. When you say,
let me
no,
tell
just
you.
hold on.
It's not the only. That's not the only explanation. When we say stable, it means that it is not changing frequently.
Exactly.
So it's not changing frequently.
So it will stabilize. So it stabilizes around
40%.
Yes, it stabilizes around a certain rate.
But the 40% is not changing. It could be 1%. The 1% is not changing. At present, we have about 14 point something, or say even 15.
Yes.
Then I'm saying that I'm expecting that it will be stable for investors to at least plan their businesses. Now,
it will be stable around the figure that it currently is at.
At least for the short term, yes.
That's what I was trying to get because
for the short term.
You see, because
and
you see,
you say range.
No, hold on.
Range.
You see,
okay, you take like
no, Stephen Amwa. Stephen Amwa. Let's help Ghanaians. You see, let's help Ghanaians.
You see, when you guys interview somebody, and the person explains things for you, you always want to get to the point that
I don't want to do anything.
Or one controversial issue for news. That is what
I'm not looking for news. What I'm saying is that
that is what
if an importer,
the explanation I've given, call any professor into it. Let a professor give another alternative.
Please indulge me.
I mean,
please indulge me.
Will not be too radical or will not be too whatever.
I understand that. I understand that.
My brother, she say.
Thus, Dr. Stephen Amwa, Deputy Minister Finance, also known as Stika, speaking to Bernard Avle on the City Breakfast Show. Do with that interview as you may. That would be it for Eyewitness News tonight. My name is Umar Rusanda Amadu. I did this with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Production by Kobna Wilson and Beverly London. Technical support from Daniel Squashi. New media support from Edwin Kwakofi. Eyewitness News is back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Up next is Sister with Chris Carter. Good night.